Welcome. So this is the 27th January here, and we will do a short recap on how today's session went. Man, what a wild session, right? So we had one loss, we had one break even, and we're going to go over this recap of the New York session. So first of all, we're going to remove all our zones, and we're going to drop down to the 4-hour time frame, and we're going to see what the hell was going on. So looking at the 1-hour time frame, first of all, what we identified when we came to the charts was that we created a resistance at 142,600, right? So if you look at the time at the bottom, this was 6 a.m. And as we can see, price is coming down to a support level. So this was the support where price was coming down to, right? And we were anticipating price to break the support at 142,288 and then continue down towards 142,0050, 142,100 to have like a 15 to 18 pip range over there. Now, when we drop down to the 30-minute time frame, what we can see is that there was one 30-minute candle that came down to the support. It broke below it, but then it rejected it, right? We had the next 30-minute candle. It came down to the support, and then it kind of like closed at the support. So when the 30-minute candle closed at the support, we were thinking about, okay, so since there's volume in the market now, and if we're closing below support, there's going to be a like a high probability for the next candle once it breaks the low for price to continue down. So we drop down to the 5-minute time frame, and this is where the sell was taken right over here, right over here. So if you look at the time, this time at the bottom, it's 7:25, right? It says 7:25 a.m. This was a 30-minute candle close, and this is the next 30-minute candle, right? The next 30-minute candle broke below the low, and this is where the sell was basically taken, right? Sell was taken as we broke below the low, but I think it was taken in the first, yeah, it was taken as soon as the candle broke the low. So I think this was the first mistake made, right? First mistake was we entered the impulse entry in the first minute, in the first few seconds as we broke the low. So that was a bad trade. Price went up, so the sell was taken right over here. Short was taken right over here. Stop loss was kept right over here around like 9 pips, and TP was down over here around 142. 142, 140, around 12, 13 pips away. So price went up, hit stop loss, closed the whole trade, and that was done, right? That was a big mistake we made. 9 pip loss over there. Second trade was taken as we broke the low over here around 142, 250. So if you bring this down over here, the sell was taken right over here around 142, 250. Stop was kept around 6 pips away, and we anticipated price to continue down towards 142, like 140, 130, whatever the target was. And as price came down, now when you look to the left-hand side on the 15-minute time frame, you can see how as price came down, there was this support area right down over here around 142, 150. We anticipated price to fill this clean wick all the way down over here, right? And as price came down bullish, if a 5-minute candle closed, bearish, we moved stops to break even, and the next candle went up and stopped us out, right? So we broke support. Sometimes, when price has a lot of volume on pound yen, it continues moving, and that's what we were anticipating right over here, especially after it would break the low down over here. But hey, listen, like everything has a probability, right? And I guess the probability wasn't in our favor at this point, and price went back in the range. And if you look on the 15-minute time frame, we basically started closing back in the range. We started closing back in the range. We started creating a resistance around 142,400, right over here. We started creating a resistance, and we started creating a support. We started ranging, and then I guess we were looking at price breaking above 142,400, which we do have a breakup over here, your confirmation, and the next candle continued moving up towards, we got about like 12, 13 pips up towards 142,560. So this was a breakdown on pound yen. And this is where, when you're taking losses, it's really important to look at the chart and see how you could have done better, how you could have not taken that loss. So the only way I can see how I could not have taken the first loss was like, shouldn't have entered in the first few seconds as it broke the low, so that's one of the rules I broke, and I paid the price. Had a losing trade, has a losing day, nine pip loss, and one trade break even. Let's take a look at gold over here. On gold, we had a selling opportunity, and that selling opportunity came earlier on in the session, and we will talk about that right now. And this was somewhere right over here. Let's go towards the 5-minute chart. This was broken down on a 5-minute chart. So basically, that selling opportunity was right at this point, as we were creating that resistance, and we created a support on the 5-minute time frame on gold. And this was the idea, like once this candle closed bearish with a wick at the bottom, we anticipated price to break this low around 1842 and then continue down towards 1838. This was a 40 pip move down over here, right? And if you look to the left hand side, it makes sense on the 30-minute and the 1 hour time frame, because look, on the left hand side, we had this clean move down, which mirrored this move down as well from the 22nd January around New York session. So this move down happened at the same time on the 21st January as this move happened today. Right. And then on a 5 minute time frame, basically, like, we came up to retest and there was another confirmation for price to continue down and we moved down, and, it was that was a pretty good move there as well. And then I guess later on, price actually did continue moving down at NYSE open, and now it's continuing to back up. So the most important thing to understand is how to break down your losses so that you don't make those same mistakes again. And as we can see over here on the 15-minute time frame, how candles is breaking above to continue up. We have clean range over here. This is something that we were looking for. So good luck, everybody. If you took losses, don't overtrade, don't over risk, don't avenge those losses. Look back at the chart and see that how you could have done better. And that's how you're going to get better. So we're going to move on, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the New York session live streams.